What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Gol Sided. We're bringing you guys another sub-series we're calling Bay-to-Bay Fútbol. This pays homage to the SF Bay area and Monterey Bay, but we're going to be covering everything Northern California footy. So we're going to be going top level, Quakes, Bay FC, to Oakland Roots, Monterey Bay FC, all the way down to the UPSL level if we can get that data. We'll be releasing this weekly, so if you're looking for a one-stop shop for all Bay Area footy, information, reactions, call-outs, and news, come this way. Like, comment, and subscribe so that you can watch all these. For our first episode, we're going to be doing a roundabout on all the scores, the top news in those matches, and things to call out. We'll talk about the Quakes going to LA and dominating against LAFC. We're going to be talking about Bay FC over the weekend, having an international friendly and getting a W. The Oakland Roots continuing their good run, getting a draw, a tough-fought draw. Monterey Bay FC still looking for their first win. A little bit of a tough go for them. And then I do have some information on the UPSL level, so we'll go through some of those matches and we'll call out some of the big results on there. Let's start off with the Quakes. The biggest thing to write home about, the Quakes went into BMO down to LA, and they got the 3 points against LAFC, but they also dominated. It was a pretty big performance. Nothing that we've seen often from the Quakes against LAFC. It's usually the other way around. But really with the 4-1 win, really imposing themselves, the Quakes over LAFC, which was a great surprise for us. The Quakes only have beaten LAFC down there one time, and that was during COVID in the Matias Almeida era, my GOAT. And with this win, the Quakes moved to 7-1-0. They are now in first place in the West, tied with Vancouver. And this is their best ever start as a franchise, as a team, going back to 1974 when the Quakes were created. So huge win for the Quakes, and they're just piling on. There's a whole bunch to call out here. Timo Werner coming back from an injury, getting a goal and an assist. Nico Tsikiris continuing to get contributions. He gets an assist. Usini Buda getting 2 goals on the match, and he's the one that broke Hugo Lloris's goals clean sheet record at that point, 4th overall in the league. But a whole bunch that the Quakes are doing right. Bruce Arena doing right. A lot of us had questions like, what are you doing when he let go of Josef Martinez, Christian Espinoza, and Chicho Arango, Hernan Lopez still not being back with the team? Raised a lot of questions, but he's putting up answers. He's shutting us all up that thought that we couldn't do it with these players. He has 5 first-round draft picks in the starting lineup most matches. A bunch of kids out there running around, but they're all giving it all for the team. So, I mean, what can we really ask of the team anymore? So shout out to them. Bruce Arena winning his coach, showing us why. So huge dub for the Quakes. Moving on to Bay FC on the women's side. They got a 1-0 win against Ottawa Rapid FC, who's apparently a pretty good team up in Canada in their new North Super League, something like that. A pretty hard-fought match, but Bay FC was missing a lot of international friendly players, so they got to try out some young talent. Speaking of talent, local talent, on the Ottawa side, they do have a Delaney Pridham, who is from Saratoga. So shout out to her for being from the area. Got to shout her out. But yeah, the Bay FC trying to get back on the right track now that they're going back into league play starting this weekend. So kudos to them. At the USL level, we got Oakland Roots. They got a 1-1 draw over the weekend. Hard-fought draw because they had a good early goal by this guy, Wolfgang Prentice, who's a name to keep an eye out for. He's got a couple of contributions already. But then right before the half, on a breakaway for Tulsa, the defender takes the man down and gets a red card. So they are basically limited for the rest of the game. They are handicapped with the player down. Even with that, they're able to get a draw. Tulsa came out firing. They get their goal a little bit late in the game, but Oakland gets to salvage a point at home. So kudos to them. Big match, this one here. It was Women's Empowerment Night, which is really cool there at the stadium. And then they also had the homie Alana from Alana's Football Club. If you don't follow them, follow them. They did a pickup event right outside of the stadium before the match started, a free pickup event, which is awesome. If you're not tapped into what the community is doing, tap in. Like I had mentioned earlier, it's a great start for the Roots. This is their strongest start to a season. Still with this draw, they're 2-3-1. So kudos to them, holding it up for the Bay at the USL level, because Monterey Bay FC is not doing that. Monterey Bay FC got a 4-1 loss against Colorado Springs, against the Switchbacks this weekend. I was hoping for them to, get some points, or a miracle, get the win, but Colorado Switchbacks were not the right opponent to be hoping that. They just eliminated Sporting Kansas City from US Open Cup last week handily. And then they apparently didn't lose a step or get tired at all from that match, because they took our Monterey Bay FC to town 4-1. In the first half, Monterey Bay FC didn't even record a shot on goal, and they got outshot like 18-4. So the one saving grace was the youngster Ilya Paul scored a goal in the second half. El de la honra, we say in Spanish. But outside of that, not much to really call out for them. They have Sebastian Leggett. We're hoping that he would be a bigger impact immediately, and he hasn't been yet. So maybe it's fitness, maybe it's getting used to the team, maybe he needs a lot more help around him. Whatever that is, we need a lot of help at Monterey Bay FC. They are really thin. They have a lot of major injuries, a lot of players that would be great if they were still there. And unfortunately, they're not, so they got to make do with what they can. So we'll see if they can get any points in the upcoming matches, which we'll talk about in a second. Let's bring into some of the lower leagues. Like I said, I do have some results here to call out. I love watching lower league matches when I can. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of footage on them, so I got results and the stats on a lot of these. But I have Atletico San Jose here in my backyard. We got OV Toros here as well. Just to call out, at the Premier Division, Atletico San Jose got a 2-0 loss. They lost against EC Revolution over the weekend from the East Bay. So a tough result there. Both of these teams mid-table. Project 510, the development branch of the Oakland Roots, they got a win, 5-0, dominant win against Azteca FC, a really good team from Modesto. So shout out to 510. They got all those resources from Oakland, and they got some amazing players, apparently. They are in first place handily, easily in this division here. Bay Valley Suns lost 3-1 against Acoriano FC, which is an interesting one, out of Hilmar. This team, Acoriano, they were founded in the 1970s by a group of migrants from the Azores of Portugal. And we got that here in our backyard. Pretty wild. Invite me out to a game, you guys, and maybe I'll make it out. Moving on to the Division 1, the lower division level at UPSL. OV Toros that I got here in Morgan Hill, like I said, they got their first win of the season, 2-1 over Golden State Football Club. Huge shout out to OV Toros for their first win. I had been to a game or two, and they had struggled a bit, so it's great to see them get their win at home and to start adding by threes into the standings. But the biggest match that I wanted to call out, not just at the UPSL level, not just at the Bay Area, but nationwide, this needs to be headlines. Central Valley Premier FC against San Leandro FC ended in a 7-7 draw over the weekend. For there to be 14 goals in a match is pretty wild. That's like football, NFL, American football numbers. I don't think I've ever seen 14 goals that wasn't 14-0. That's pretty crazy. For it to be 7-7, I want to see those highlights. I couldn't find them, but I want to see them. Send them over to me. If you guys were there, let me know if this is like a statistical error or something. I don't know, but I just thought that was amazing. Kudos to you guys. So that does it for our roundabout, folks. I do have a couple of segments that I want to introduce. You guys let me know how to name them, because you guys might not like the names, but just an MVP of the week. I want to call out one player or team that had a great performance that really stands out to me that I would like to share with you guys. Number one, the main person this week for me is Useni Buda for the Quakes with 2 goals over the weekend against LAFC. He's the one that broke Hugo Lloris's streak of goalless minutes with over 500. So he took that away from him. And just the track that he's been on, from being at Stanford to the Quakes to struggling to going to Monterey Bay FC on loan, being a role player to now being a really great weapon for the Quakes. Shout out to him. Honorable mention, Nico Tsakiris, having 6 goal contributions in 7 matches so far. Huge numbers from a lot of these players at the Quakes. My foggy performance of the week. Yeah, I said foggy. To somebody who I don't think did great. Maybe they messed up. In Spanish, we call it el oso de la semana, like somebody that embarrassingly kind of messed up a little bit. Monterey Bay FC, I guess I would call them out. Lackluster that they're in last place in the USL level. They definitely got to turn it around, get some players back from injury, get some better results. We'll see if they can, because their coach might be in the hot seat. Who knows? From the player level, Reed Roberts from the Quakes, I want to shout you out. It's all good and fun because they won 4-1, but the one goal that the Quakes gave up was an own goal that came in the box, and Reed Roberts, the center back for the Quakes, got a deflection on it and put it into his own net. Not as funny as the one that the defender from LAFC scored, but we're talking Bay Area folks here, so that was pretty funny. They all got to laugh it off because it was 3-0 at that point. So we knew the Quakes had it in the bag at that point, so it was pretty funny. But shout out to you. Cool. So let's bring it on home, folks. The last little bit that I want to talk to you guys about are games to watch. 3 or so matches every week that I want to call out to you guys that are involving our Bay Area teams. So number 1, our San Jose Earthquakes against Austin FC tomorrow, Wednesday at the time of this recording. And then over the weekend, they play against St. Louis. And I wanted to call those 2 out because they're upcoming, but also because they're second to last and third to last place in MLS. So we can realistically see the Quakes in first place overall, hopefully by themselves by this time next week, by our next episode, which is pretty baller. And that's if Vancouver drops some points, which who knows? MLS, you never know. Number 2, we have our rivalry match, our Clásico down here, Monterey Bay FC versus Oakland Roots at the USL level. This is going to be a big one. Like I mentioned to you guys, Monterey Bay FC needs a win. Oakland Roots needs to keep summing by 3. So what's going to give? This is a big rivalry match in this area. They have a lot of fun at the tailgates. Join those dudes at the grounds and the rising tide and everything if you guys are in the area. But yeah, Monterey Bay FC needs to win this match, and it's a home match at Cardinale, so it's going to be a good one. And then lastly, I got Bay FC against Gotham FC this next weekend. NWSL gets back to it. Bay FC needs to win matches to move out from the middle bunch to the top at NWSL and really start pushing for the top level. But it's going to be a tough one against Gotham FC, who were the champions from this last season. We'll see if they're able to do that. Yeah, folks, so that's what I have for our first edition of Bay-to-Bay Fútbol. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Gol Sided so that you guys can watch all of these for all the upcoming weeks. Give me any feedback on the segments. Give me better names for the segments. Let me know what you guys want to listen to, what you guys want to hear more of. Sacramento Republic didn't play. They played tonight at time of recording, so that's why I didn't talk about them. But you guys let me know if you guys want me to talk about them. But yeah, any feedback would be greatly appreciated, and we'll talk soon. Peace.